They're the only known surviving pair of dicephalic conjoined twins, and for most of their lives they've stayed almost completely hidden from the public eye. Abby and Brittany Hensel were born in 1990 sharing a single body. Millions watched them on Oprah and later on their own reality show. They grew up, became teachers, learned to drive, and lived what looked like ordinary lives. Then in 2024, the internet exploded. Photos from a secret wedding surfaced. A cryptic TikTok hinted at something even bigger. Suddenly everyone was asking the same question: what actually happened to the twins? And the real answer is stranger than anything people guessed. On March 7, 1990, Abby and Brittany Hensel were born in Carver County, Minnesota. The delivery room went silent at 12:17 in the morning. The babies had two heads on one shared body, a condition called dicephalic parapagous twins, together weighing 11.5 pounds. Their parents were stunned. Nobody had seen this coming. The condition affects roughly 1 in every 200,000 births, and doctors from across the country came to see them. 2 days later, surgeons removed a small third arm that had begun developing between their necks. The girls survived 6 grueling hours on the table, the start of a truly remarkable life. Doctors were amazed at how their bodies functioned. Brittany controlled the left side, Abby the right. They each had a separate heart and lungs, yet those organs had to work in sync. One digestive system, but 2 stomachs, so if one twin ate something that upset her, they both felt it. They even had to coordinate their breathing. Even the simplest things were a daily puzzle that first year. Feeding meant swallowing at exactly the same time, so their mother, Patty, invented a bottle with 2 nipples so they could drink together. Sleep was just as tricky, since one twin could be wide awake while the other was ready to sleep, so their parents and grandparents took turns staying up through the night. Then, at 8 months old, Abby and Brittany crawled together for the first time, and after weeks of effort and tears, the whole family celebrated like they'd won gold. But alongside the joy came an agonizing decision. A doctor told their parents there was little chance of successfully separating the girls, that one or both might not survive, or could face severe complications even if they did. After weeks of deliberation, their parents decided against it, believing the girls were stronger together, and raised them from early on to live both as 2 individuals and as one. On October 8, 1996, 6-year-old Abby and Brittany appeared on The Oprah Winfrey Show, their first time on national television. The audience was stunned. These girls weren't just surviving, they were thriving, talking openly about eating, sleeping, even settling arguments with a coin flip. People admired how composed and honest they were. More appearances followed, and their own TLC show launched in 2012. Through it all, they stayed grounded in private. And one thing never changed: their parents never treated them like a medical curiosity, raising them as 2 girls sharing one incredible body, with independence, encouragement, and a strong sense of who they were. They grew up in a small rural Minnesota town, looking like any other kids heading off to school each morning. But in the classroom, the way they moved as a team stunned teachers and students alike. Abby controlled her right arm and leg, Brittany her left, and somehow they moved as one, even writing 2 different things with 2 hands at the same time. They naturally divided their strengths early. Abby leaned towards science and math, Brittany toward writing and language, helping each other with essays and equations. Gym class brought real challenges, since every movement had to be planned and coordinated between them, like Abby covering one side of the court in volleyball while Brittany handled the other. It took patience and endless repetition, but they played, and never once asked for easier rules. In 2008, they graduated from Mayer Lutheran High School, on the honor roll and widely respected. That same year, they earned their driver's license, though it took 2 attempts, Abby handling the pedals and radio, Brittany the turn signals and lights, learning to steer as one. Since each had to be tested separately behind the wheel, the result was 1 car, 2 licenses, 2 passing scores earned entirely on their own merit. Their graduation speech about staying united moved the whole audience, and the story spread well beyond Minnesota. After high school, they enrolled at Bethel University in Minnesota to study education, settling on one shared major after realizing juggling separate ones was unworkable. In lectures, one would take notes while the other listened, then they'd switch, and in group projects they often brought two distinct perspectives to the same topic. Making friends was hard at first, since most people had never met anyone like them, but their humor and warmth won people over, and they even joined the volleyball team. In 2012, they graduated with their own individual diplomas despite sharing every class and every trip to get there, and the university created a fair tuition arrangement recognizing both their shared circumstances and their individual accomplishments, even sharing one body. Abby and Brittany have always been two completely separate people. Abby is outspoken, confident, drawn to numbers, quick to tackle problems head-on. Brittany is quieter, more reflective, the writer who thinks things through before acting. Even their clothing reflects it. Abby likes bold colors and patterns, Brittany prefers soft, simple tones, so their clothes are custom-made with two separate necklines. Their bodies react differently too. Caffeine sends Brittany's heart racing while Abby feels nothing at all. When they disagree, they don't fight, they flip a coin or take turns choosing direction, masters of compromise built from a lifetime of practice. That balance carried them into a career. In 2012, they began teaching 5th grade, and the world watched two conjoined twins with brand new education degrees step into a Minnesota classroom. The school district had never dealt with hiring someone with two separate minds and licenses, so they ended up with two separate teaching contracts but a single shared salary, an odd arrangement neither twin ever complained about, choosing to focus on their students instead. Within a year, they'd become two of the most beloved teachers at Sunnyside Elementary, every gesture and word on the chalkboard perfectly timed between them, Abby handling the right side of the classroom, Brittany the left, alternating who taught and who helped students catch up. Not every day was easy, though. In their first year, a student once bluntly asked if they could even teach like this, and instead of letting it sting, they turned it into a lesson about respect and difference their students still remember. By 2017, kids were describing it as basically having two teachers in one. Their influence went beyond the classroom too. A 2018 survey found most students felt more comfortable opening up about their own struggles because of them, and by 2020 they were speaking at national education conferences, sharing strategies for inclusive teaching that schools across the country later adopted. Their teamwork can look almost unbelievable in action, Brittany writing on the board while Abby explains a math problem, then seamlessly switching roles seconds later. During a 2023 documentary shoot, they switched roles like that 37 times in one session. That kind of teamwork goes all the way back to that first Oprah appearance at age 6. At 22, they returned to the spotlight with their own TLC reality show, Abby and Brittany, premiering August 28, 2012, right as they stepped into adulthood after graduating from Bethel. The 8-episode series gave viewers a real look inside their daily coordination, riding a bike, driving a car, playing volleyball, hanging out with friends, and it followed them internationally too, sipping high tea in London, tossing coins into Rome's Trevi Fountain, gliding through Venice on a gondola. The final episode centered on their next big step, becoming certified 5th grade math teachers. The show touched on bigger questions too, like marriage and children, but the twins kept those topics closed, which only deepened public curiosity. After the final episode aired on October 7, 2012, they deliberately stepped back from public life and focused on teaching. Then, quietly, on November 13, 2021, something historic happened in Minnesota. Abby got married. It was a small, private ceremony with only close friends and family, Brittany standing proudly by her side as maid of honor. Her husband, Josh Bowling, a 33-year-old Army veteran and nurse, wore a gray suit, and his 6-year-old daughter Isabella served as flower girl. Abby read vows she described as speaking from both her heart and Brittany's. It wasn't just a wedding, it was a statement about choice and unity. But almost nobody outside their close circle knew about it for nearly 3 years, until public records revealed the marriage in March 2024. The news stunned people, not because of scandal, but because it raised questions nobody had ever thought to ask. How does a marriage like this actually work day to day? Adding to the intrigue, Josh had been married before, and his ex-wife had filed for divorce along with a paternity case back in 2023, sending headlines spiraling. But Abby and Josh didn't retreat, instead sharing glimpses of their life, wedding photos on their joint Facebook page showing a genuinely happy couple surrounded by family, Abby glowing, Josh at peace, and Brittany right there in nearly every photo, just as happy. It wasn't only romance, it was cooperation, a family built long before the public ever found out, with Abby stepping into a stepmother role for young Isabella while Brittany was fully involved too, both of them playing games, cooking meals, helping with schoolwork, and taking her on outings. Nothing about their lives has ever been conventional, but it worked. Today, Abby and Brittany still teach 5th grade math in New Brighton, Minnesota, while Josh works as a hospice nurse caring for veterans in their final days. Their home has been adapted for all of them, with real attention paid to privacy and space, and strong communication keeping everything running smoothly. When the media frenzy hit in March 2024, they skipped the press conference entirely and posted a short statement on TikTok instead. "Today the internet is especially loud," they wrote. "We have existed forever." Then came the video that truly broke through, a dance challenge posted April 15, 2024, showcasing their coordination and racking up 15 million views. From there, the floodgates opened, quiet family moments, playful dance videos, personal reflections. They relaunched their Instagram on May 1, 2024, captioned "New Beginnings, Old Memories," alongside a childhood photo, hitting 500,000 likes within an hour. 4 days later, they shared wedding photos publicly for the first time, a custom lace gown built to fit both sisters, Brittany standing beside Abby as bridesmaid, a Taylor Swift song playing during the ceremony footage. Fans loved this more personal side of them. In September 2024, they posted a family selfie with Josh, all three grinning, which he later made his profile picture, and in October, a TikTok showed the three of them laughing together making pumpkin-shaped bread, a small, warm moment over 3 million people watched. Not all the attention has been kind, though. Faced with hateful comments, the twins didn't stay silent, responding with a TikTok in March 2024 saying that even if you don't like what they do, watching everything they post still makes you a fan. A few days later, they posted again, repeating that the internet is loud right now, but they've existed forever, backing it with historical images of two-headed sculptures, proof that conjoined twins are rare, but far from new. Then came the moment that really set the internet on fire. In a lighthearted TikTok, the words "married and expecting" briefly flashed across the screen. That was it, one phrase, and within hours thousands of comments poured in. At 34, the idea that the twins might be starting a family thrilled a lot of people, and the comments were overwhelmingly warm, people calling them mom, dad, and auntie all at once. It wasn't the first time the topic came up. Back on their 2012 TLC show, Brittany had said plainly that yes, they wanted to become mothers someday, even if they hadn't figured out exactly how it would work. Now, over a decade later, fans are wondering if that dream is finally becoming real. But here's the catch: nothing has actually been confirmed, no announcement, no official statement, just that one cryptic headline. What we do know is they've disclosed before that they share a single uterus, a detail that only adds more questions about how a pregnancy would work. Their health has always required extraordinary precision from doctors, since some organs are shared and others aren't, meaning more frequent testing than most people ever go through. In April 2014, doctors discovered Brittany's spine was growing slower than Abby's, and delicate surgery was needed to slow Abby's spinal growth and keep their bodies aligned, which worked. Despite one shared circulatory system, they each have their own heart, meaning blood pressure and flow need constant monitoring through stress tests and echocardiograms every 3 months. In October 2018, Brittany experienced chest pain, and after thorough testing, doctors found nothing serious. Their lungs need close attention too, since Brittany has only one lung while Abby has 2, requiring lung function tests twice a year. During the height of the COVID-19 pandemic in 2020, they went into strict quarantine to protect their health. All of this shows just how carefully every part of their lives has to be monitored, and if a pregnancy is real, it wouldn't just be personal news, it would be a genuinely unprecedented medical moment. Most people think they understand what life is like for conjoined twins, but most of those assumptions are wrong. From the outside, the obvious thing is one body, two heads, but what truly sets them apart isn't their appearance, it's the way they live and their refusal to let the world define their limits. A common myth is that conjoined twins share the same thoughts or feelings, but Abby and Brittany have always insisted that's false. They're two entirely separate people who happen to share a body. Viewers saw this clearly on their TLC show, watching Brittany laugh about music with a friend while Abby discussed math with someone else entirely, because their minds have never been the same, only their space. People also questioned whether they could ever fall in love or marry, assuming it simply wasn't possible. Abby's wedding to Josh proved otherwise, a quiet ceremony that answered a question a lot of people had written off entirely. Then came the question of work. Could they really function in a real classroom managing a room full of children? Instead of answering with words, Abby and Brittany answered by simply showing up, day after day, starting to teach professionally in 2013, earning the respect of students, parents, and co-workers alike. They weren't just getting by, they were excelling, and in May 2019 they were named Educators of the Year, an award earned entirely through hard work and real impact on their students, not sympathy. Every day they live publicly, Abby and Brittany keep proving assumptions wrong, showing the world that conjoined twins are people, not medical curiosities, complex, capable, and full of potential. Their story is bigger than milestones and headlines. It's about what they built, a life so many people assumed was impossible, a marriage, a career, a family, and above all, a message that stands entirely on its own.